The battle against one of the most dishonest government departments, which lasted for more than 1,300 days and appeared to be an interminable one, has finally come to a conclusion. Hello everyone, my name is Nick, and I would like to warmly welcome you all to the channel. By the time you finish watching this video, I hope you will have become a user of the service. At this point, I believe that is the most effective method to begin this film. Let's go should be the command that all XRP holders who have possessed their currency since the year 2020 should utter. At long last, we overcame the SEC. The case has been resolved entirely. My guardians are not the chief legal officer of Ripples. It is also necessary for us to discuss this. There is going to be a discussion about it, the entirety of the market. Over $60,000 Bitcoin. It would be wonderful to see that we can avoid getting too far ahead of ourselves. This topic is going to be the subject of another film that I am going to make. This week we have a meeting of the Federal Open Market Committee, FOMC, and we need to get ready for it. An incredible number of events are going to take place, each of which has the potential to alter the general appearance of the market. On the other hand, XRP has increased by almost 8% during the past 60 days. Over the course of the past 3 months, it has increased by about 20%. It would be wonderful to witness that. This is the chart that represents XRP's 7-day price movement. A rise of around 10.76% or 3.25% has occurred in just one day. It's not an overly crazy situation at all. Once again, not much of a change during the past month. The thing that is going to take place right now, however, is the most crucial thing. In case you were unaware, the matter has been closed by the CL, and we shall discuss it in the next paragraphs. For quite some time now, I had been jotting down this particular information. Almost from the very beginning, we have been discussing this particular situation. I've even discussed it on X in the past. It is something that I discussed on YouTube in the video. At the time, the primary topic of conversation that we were having was the amount of false information and negative energy that was present among the XRP community. In spite of the fact that I have always said that it was a chance that sprang out of nowhere, I did write 2 posts in the months of March and April. Since the month of March, this was the first one. This was a quotation. When it came to the $2 billion that the SEC received from Ripple, a piece written by Mr. Huber was cited because it was very well written, right? That was evidence at the time of who the Securities and Exchange Commission is truly pulling for. If you recall correctly, each of those cases was brought against JP Morgan as well as other major financial institutions. Not simply JP Morgan was involved. Numerous examples of them include Bank of America and Citi, amongst others. The other side of the coin is that JP Morgan is always able to get away with anything. Those who have been shown to have stolen billions and billions of dollars, as well as those who have manipulated markets, commodities markets, and treasury markets, are subject to fines of $100 million. To put it simply, I find it really absurd. On the other hand, this is the reason why I advised against claiming that the SEC caused $15 billion in losses to small investors when they announced the action against XRP. To this day, we have not even discussed what transpired after that. There is no point in even discussing the amount of innovation that was suppressed or the amount of damage that the SEC caused to other businesses operating in the same industry as a result of its actions. That particular library that instructed us on how to file for bankruptcy is one that we will never forget. On top of that, they did not stop for FTX. For instance, I would guess that the damages incurred as a result of the SEC are already well over $100 billion. However, I also stated that the Securities and Exchange Commission had caused sufficient damage. When they made their request 2 years ago, they asked for $1.4 billion, but now they want $2 billion. What a ridiculous concept it is. They are not deserving of anything. I did say that the Securities and Exchange Commission had wasted more than 3 years of time battling with Ripple over nothing, and I said it in this exact same speech. The saddest thing is that a significant amount of money came from taxpayers and was wasted on this fight. I didn't even bother to mention the $15 billion that owners of XRP lost. However, that was only something that was reported in the press. Consider the opportunities that Ripple passed on, despite the fact that they paid more than $200 million in legal expenses. Think about what you could have purchased with that $200 million if it had been used in the right way. It is the claim that the entire conflict was fought to safeguard investment that is the most disheartening aspect of the situation. This conflict, which has been going on for almost 4 years, has only demonstrated to me that a dishonest government entity is attempting to corner the American National Aeronautics and Space Administration sector. The selection of winners and losers is clearly motivated by a specific cause, and someone is being compensated for doing so. Even after more than 3 years, we are still located in the heart of this situation. Yes, there are more than 1,300 days. To be more precise, there are 1,364 days. That is the amount of time that was required to conclude this case. In addition, let's begin with this first so that we can go over a few things. This is the broad perspective that the SEC has regarding crypto and how they are dealing with it. Be sure not to overlook Gary Gensler's. Well-known boards, the rules are easy to understand, and everything is apparent already. To be fair, the regulations and legislation that pertain to stock markets and cryptocurrency are relatively easy to understand. Meta Lawman has provided us with the following. When it comes to cryptocurrency, the Securities and Exchange Commission CC appears to have difficulty telling the truth. Let's take a closer look at the answers that the SEC attorneys provided during the hearings that were held recently for Coinbase and Binance. The 17th of January is today, so you are claiming that when these 12 or 13 tokens were distributed for the first time, Individually, these components were securities in their own right. Oh yes, sir. For the sake of clarity, it is not the token itself that provides the safety. I hope all is well with you. January 22nd is the date. There have been 5 days since that time. Are you in agreement with the statement that the coins, which are the subject of the investment contracts, are not the same thing as the contracts which themselves include? Oh yes, sir. As we discussed earlier, the crypto object is nothing more than a single line of code. Specifically, the token is a representation of the investment contract. This is a request from the court. I don't believe I've ever heard the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) claim that the trading contract is the token. The investment contract refers to the asset itself, and our position on this matter has remained consistent throughout the years. The concept that the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) has contradicted itself is questionable to me for a number of reasons. The Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) has stated that the cryptocurrency token is both a security and not a security and not a security. In addition, these two assertions are not in conflict with one another. To add insult to injury, I mean, listen, this is exactly what is taking place. Keep an eye on the meeting that Coinbase is holding. These are the precise words that the SEC is saying. In addition, the Binance hearing is taking place here. This is totally ridiculous if you ask me. There is no way to alter cryptography because of this particular reason. It is precisely for this reason that there are no regulations, guidelines, or information that is crystal clear regarding cryptocurrency in the United States at the moment when we look at the market. The Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) included this addition in its brief on Binance. Make sure that there are no misunderstandings regarding the security of crypto assets. To control such a massive industry, which is comprised of millions of investors and billions of millions of investors and billions of dollars worth of trading every single day, appears to be an uncommon approach. Do you think it's just me? This leads me to this post that is located over here. This is the report from the Dow. Another photo that was included in the footnote is displayed here. Stuart Alderoty, who is the most senior legal official at Ripple, is the source of this information. Ripple has been proven to be the winner. The fair notice argument, on the other hand, can still be used by some individuals. According to the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC), the Dow study from 2017 brought to the attention of the business community the fact that securities pertaining to crypto assets are governed by the laws of the United States. A federal judge, who is likely to be at least slightly intelligent, receives an apology from the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) after 7 years for the ambiguity that was generated by the use of the naturally ambiguous term. And if we take a closer look at this, we can see that the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) published the Dow report in July of 2017. When an investigation is conducted in accordance with Section 21A of the Securities Exchange Act of 1934, some crypto asset securities are regulated by U.S. securities rules, the Assets and Exchange Commission (SEC) stated in the Dow report. When it refers to crypto asset securities, the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) reiterates that it does not imply the cryptocurrency asset itself as a security. This is something that was brought to the attention of the court. Contrarily, since the conclusion of the first crypto asset Howey case, the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) has maintained that the word is nothing more than a code. See also here and on Telegram. The crypto asset, which is nothing more than a string of letters and numbers, is not the only thing that provides security in this scenario. The security is more than just the crypto asset. The entirety of the contract stands